Okay, Miss Renee Matthews-Jackson, thank you for meeting with me today.
Thank you for having me to meet with you, Stan Johnson.
All right. Well, tell me, how did you get started in the arts?
Oh my gosh. I think I probably was an artist as a little girl and just didn't know it. My dad did things like had movies in the backyard where he hung up sheets and we sold popcorn and stuff. And then, there were those Martha and Vandellas times and Supremes times when you thought you was the singer and always had to be the lead singer. So I probably started when I was very young, maybe in my double digits, 10, 11.
Okay. And how did you start? What art form did you start doing first?
Writing.
You started writing?
Poetry, yeah. I would write. My mother told a story about when I started kindergarten. She used to read nursery rhymes all the time. And so my little imaginative mind, I should say, shouldn't call my mind imaginary, but my mind told me that you talk in rhyme. And so that's how I would talk in school, when I talked, because I was an introvert. And my teacher told my mom, she said, I think there's something going on. She always does like nursery rhyme speech. And my mother said, I'm a teacher, and I just taught her nursery rhymes. That's how I got her to read. So I might have started then, or maybe that was the acting. I don't know which one, but acting is another thing I did as a young person.
Okay. So the art forms you chose just came naturally for you?
Yes,
okay.
Yes. My mother said that everybody's born with a talent or a gift, and she encouraged our talents. And so she saw the writer in me, she saw the actor, and she encouraged it, and that's what I followed.
Awesome. Where did you grow up?
Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay. And did you get in the art scene in Cleveland?
Oh, yes. Cleveland is an arts mecca. Actually, Cleveland is second only to New York in theater districts. We have the second largest theater district in the country. People think it's Chicago or LA or Philadelphia. It's New York City, then Cleveland. We have regional theaters all over, so it was easy for me. And I started in theater with poetry. We had a Window of the Arts series back in the, I'm not gonna say what year, but I was invited to sit on daises with people like Dr. James Kilgore, who wrote, What Color Am I? I am the color of Georgia pines. I'm the color of rich red clay in Alabama. And I got to sit on daises with people like him and Dr. Emeria while they were professors. And my scene was college, so I wasn't going to college, but I was going there to do poetry. Mm-hmm. So it just came out of nowhere. It was a path set for me, I believe.
Okay, wonderful. Well, this is the Artist of Color series, mm-hmm. And so I wanted to ask you, what is your favorite color and why?
My favorite color is yellow, and I think it's because it's bright, and I like bright things. You remember when they used to have the tumblers, what were they called? It wasn't Mel Mac, it was something else, tumblers that we used, and our parents, everybody had them in their homes. Mm-hmm. I would choose the yellow one. And nobody would fight me over it because they know, Renee's going to choose the yellow. Tupperware, tumblers. And she's going to choose the yellow. And I would get yellow dishes. I don't know. But I didn't buy yellow things to wear. For some reason, I didn't have anything yellow in my closet. But the color always made me feel bright. Like, I love lemons and lemon head candy and anything yellow. I like butter. And I don't know why that is. It just is.
Does yellow come into effect when you are doing any of your art? Does it come into play at all?
I have a wonderful dandelion in the wind is what I call it. And it is really a surreal, like a blurred dandelion. And it's huge and it's yellow. And I want to blow it up and put it over my bed for my headboard. But I did write a yellow. Mm-hmm. I love to write, what are they called? It's not an acronym in poetry. It's called where all the first letters start the word. And why can't I think of what it is now? It's acrostic poetry where the first letters spell out the word. And this is called Yellow, and I wrote it on 8/8. And you know, 8 is a perfect number, and yesterday was all kind of stuff. The Lionsgate portal opened in the universe and all that kind of stuff. And it says, yeah, effervescent, lemon, lime, outstandingly wonderful, yellow. And so there's my yellow.
Okay, so Renee, what are your particular art forms? I know you are multi-talented, so what are your different art forms?
I think I can sing. And I always wanted to sing, and I'm not a singer, but I can act like I can sing. If I study somebody, I mean, I could sound like Billie Holiday if I study her. Give me 6 weeks to study her, and I can be her. But my art is theater, drama theater, which is acting, writing, playwriting, directing, mime, visual art, and my visual art is digital. Connie Blair was my business partner for 22 years, and she was like a sister, and I found out she had cancer, and so I was so angry at cancer that I did a painting that's behind you called Cancer Burning Up, and it's actually been in 3 exhibits here in Tallahassee, and I just did it in 2013. I mean, my mother had died in 2012, and Connie gets cancer in 2014 and dies, so I'm just really getting over to release my mother and let her go, and here my best friend and sister died. So that started my career in digital art, and since 2014 with that first painting, I have over 101, I think my last count was 101 paintings that I just need to blow up and frame and put throughout my house.
Okay, great. So, what do you hope to achieve with the different art forms that you're participating in, or that you?
I just want to leave a legacy for my children. This is really, and my grandchildren, this is all they've ever known of me. You know, this is what they kind of expect, like, Mom, so what are you doing now? You know, I want to do some voiceovers. I used to do voiceovers when I was very young, and now my voice has gotten really deep and raspy. But I know how to make it go up high like that if they need a younger person. When you're young, you talk real high. When you're older, you talk like that. So I could do that in a voiceover because you're not seeing me. You know, you're just hearing my voice. So I want to do some voiceovers because they pay well. I want to do some more commercials. I did a Nike commercial when the Cleveland Cavaliers won, and I made $10,000-something for 4 seconds. I want to do some more of that.
Wow.
Because that's like a real paycheck. But I mean, when they did the commercial finally, I only had a 4-second spot. But it took the whole day to do the commercial. It took like 9 hours for us to film the whole commercial. But they paid you because it's SAG-AFTRA. And in this age, I'm thinking about joining SAG-AFTRA, but I'm not sure. Because I hate that a union can tell me where I can perform or where I can't perform. That's why I never joined it. I've been qualified for SAG-AFTRA for 10 years, 15 years, but I just don't like them saying, you can't do this in this house, and you can't perform in that house, and you can't. That's just me. Now, I've got friends that say, Renee, you're settling down now, Renee, you get the big jobs with SAG-AFTRA, join. And so I'm considering that because I'm getting ready to be closer to Orlando. I'm going to leave Tallahassee.
Oh, wow. We're going to miss you.
I'm going to Ocala. It's not that far. I can come back here. It's just like a 3-hour drive. I come back here whenever something's going on. But I came here to be with my son and his 3 sons and wife. And they've been gone for like 5 months, and I miss them. And I don't like being here alone, you know. So I'm going to leave Tallahassee, but I'll be back.
How has how have you been able to use your art in Tallahassee?
Oh my gosh. From day one, I had the studio on West 4th, and we used to read plays there and poetry. And then I moved, and there was a studio on West Georgia Street, which is what this is, because I live right up the street in the apartment buildings. And then I found a house, you know, a single-family home with a big backyard, and I had all these plans to do the tents in the backyard and all that, but COVID-19 changed those things. But I still have plans for Tallahassee, even if I'm not physically in Tallahassee. I mean, I've been political here. I've been to commissioners' meetings. I met with the mayor 3 times. I established Frenchtown Coalition for the Arts, which right now is quiet because there were some differences of opinion. And we all have those, especially artists. Oh my God, artists can be the worst when it comes to opinions. And so it's quiet, and we're waiting to see what it manifests, because it was organized to save Frenchtown from gentrification. And we're still working on that. You know, we're still, FCA is still alive. I mean, their members in my presence right now, so. But that's a future event for me, to revive Frenchtown Coalition and reserve the Frenchtown community, because, and I'm gonna be very honest, Florida State University wants this. And they put up historical markers, and they put up historical signs, and that way they can tear it down and say it's still historical. And so there's a lot of work to do. There's a lot of commissioners in Tallahassee that are still looking forward to working on those kinds of projects. And so that's the political side of me too. I'm political. I've been political.
Okay, well, we're going to change direction now.
Okay.
You are an artist of color, so how do you feel about being considered an artist of color?
Well, I'm a person of color, and my color is tropical tan. I am a mother rapper, and mother rapper talks about things like racism. She talks about how we spend our money. Mother Rapper is planning an economic fast 2020, where the first 3 days of November, you don't spend any money, first, second, and third. Somebody told me the other day, you ought to make it a week, because a week will extend into a month, and like the Montgomery bus boycott, it'll speak volumes. And so, but November 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, we had a blackout Tuesday, July 7th, where you weren't supposed to spend any money. I don't know how that went. I asked around, but no, I got no feedback. So I'd like to see November 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, where we don't spend $1, and then on 3rd, go out and vote in masses. You know, because this is a capitalistic society we live in. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because I like making my part of the money tree too. But I think that the government or the powers that be will only listen to you if you have the dollars to make them listen. So black dollars are very important. In 1996, when I wrote this rap, we spent $600 billion in one day in the mall. $600 billion nationwide in the mall in one day. And you add that up to 365 days of spending. Black dollars matter. And so as a person of color, I say black lives matter, black dollars matter, black children matter, black men matter, black women matter, all black matters. Black on black on black on black on black on black on black. So I don't mind being a person of color, an artist of color. I'm an artist first, but I am obviously a black woman. Native American in me, some German in here, some Russian. But this is what you see, is black.
Well, I guess my next question was going to be about how does your skin color make you feel, but I think you answered that for us.
Very powerful. I think when I was younger, I did a poem called Earth Mother, and it talked about black women and women of color. Being the mother of all the children, and our kids keep fighting each other and tug-of-warring at each other. And on the totem pole, the black woman is at the bottom. But we know better than that. And that's how good we are. We're so powerful that it's okay that you look at us down here. Because we know where we sit. We are the mother of the whole universe. And so I've never had a problem with, in back in the day, people used to call me a little yellow heifer, and yellow. Oh my gosh. Maybe that's why I like yellow. I don't know. I didn't even give that any thought until now. Because it's not a negative to me anymore. Because if you stood all my brothers and sisters up together, we go from the lightest light to the darkest dark. But we all look alike. So I don't understand the problem with color at all.
Okay. Does your skin color play a role in your art form?
That's a good question. Probably more than not so, yeah. Because I write from, and I performed at Karamu House, the oldest theater, black theater in the world, not just America. And we did black theater. And we did Cat on the Hot Tin Roof black back in the 90s. When it was non-traditional is what they called it, non-traditional theater, non-traditional casting. I had, when we did our youth tour, I had children that were from India, Shruti. I'm naming you Shruti. Shruti was my daughter, and the kids in the audience like, is that your real daughter? I said, yes, she's my real daughter. And David Reichold, who was Jewish, and they said, is that your real son? I was like, yes, that's my real son. So it's played a bigger role than I even think about sometimes, my skin color, because first of all, I can't put myself in a Caucasian person's shoes. I can't put myself in, and I hate the color code. I hate the brown, yellow, red, black, and white. That is a construct from colonialism. It used to be when you came to America, you were either an African American, an Asian American, or it was the continent you were from, the European American. The color construct came from white having to say, I am the best, and then everything underneath that, and we happened to be on the bottom, but we're not. Everything came from us. So the color concept is a lie. And the beautiful thing about 2020 is people say, 2020, perfect vision, 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 vision. Yes, hopefully what we've been going through since the onset of this year will open up hearts, eyes, and minds. Because there have been a lot of lies. And it's time for the truth to be known, And so it plays a definite part in who I am as an artist. I wouldn't be able to speak like this if I wasn't a black woman. And I'm still there.
How do you find what roles do you feel that the black culture plays in America?
We are the culture. Black people are the culture. We were here long before Europeans came. We were here and we intermingled with the red natives, the black, because my grandmother was Choctaw from Alabama Choctaw. And her daddy was coal-colored with straight black braids. And he was a medicine man, and he was revered by the white people and the black people in the town because he was a serious healer. Now, if you were to say medicine man, because of pharmaceuticals, it would be taboo. But he was a great healer. And so my ancestry has so much more to do with who I am than if I didn't know who they were. If I didn't know them, this about my dad's grandfather, who was my great-grandfather, that's not so far removed. My grandmother used to have a picture over her bed. She lived in Ulita, Pennsylvania, in the valley, country, real rural. Farm behind you, go get the eggs, watching through the head on the chicken and all of that. And she had this picture. And when I was 25, I never paid no attention to the picture. I just thought it was, who is that Indian over your bed? And I had the nerve to ask her when I went and spent like 2 weeks with her when I was 25. And I'm glad I did, because not long after that she passed away. But I said, who's that Indian, that Indian over your bed? She said, that ain't no Indian. That's my daddy. And she sat me down and she told me that her mother was from Senegal and she was already here, and she married her father, who was a Choctaw from Alabama. What a rich history that is. You know, and so personally, I'm an American. Bigger than some of these people who are claiming that this land is theirs. And that's empowering all by itself. So I don't know if I answered your question.
You definitely answered my question. Okay. What blessing of knowledge could you pass on to anyone interested in becoming an artist?
Follow your heart. Use it or lose it. And these are just things I've heard said before. If I were to say my own, give my own, don't be afraid to be yourself. Because you're going to find out that we're all artists. We're all creators. God created, therefore we must create. And so just do you. I mean, I let my kids be so free at home. I allowed my children to be angry. I allowed them not to necessarily talk back, but say, Mommy, I don't think that's fair. Because I didn't have that opportunity to that extent. You know, I could say, Ma, and she said, where is it? My kids would say, Ma, I say, what? What are you thinking? Tell me what you're thinking. So, just be yourself. Just do you. Have faith in yourself. Have faith in the work you put in. If it's a passion and it's an art form, then that's what you do. I was very passionate and adamant about writing something every day. I was very passionate and adamant about getting in front of my mirror and saying, okay, you know, girl, you ain't gonna talk like that no more. To imitate the old slave speaking dialect, the colloquial tongue, or Paul Laurence Dunbar when he say, Liza, 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 better get up out that bed. No, Liza, Liza. Oh, I don't remember, but I know Paul Laurence Dunbar spoke in the colloquial tongue. He wrote, they had a great big party down the towns the other night. Was I there? You bet I never in my life seen such a sight. All the oats from oak plantations was invited and they come. I used to do that in front of the mirror. And so I followed my dream. I asked God to let me stand on stage and get a standing ovation. I've had so many standing ovations in my lifetime. And it wasn't just me. I mean, I was up there with Cynthia Rose, an ensemble cast, and we got a standing ovation just last year with the Underground play. So I've been in those situations, and I get chills when I say it, because I asked for this. And so be careful what you ask for. You just might get it, and a lot is required of you when you get the thing you are most passionate about. So follow your passions. If you got a passion, that's your art. Do it.
Wonderful. Well, Renee, thank you for taking your time to speak with me. And how can we find or connect with you online?
Online, you can email me at the studio on W Georgia ST, which stands for the studio on West Georgia Street. We also have a website, which is Google the studio on West Georgia Street. I don't know. I mean, you can find me on Instagram, the studio on West Georgia Street, Renee Matthews-Jackson, which is R Matthews-Jackson or R. Matthews-Jackson. You can find me on Facebook or Twitter, Mother Rapper, Portrayed. All of those different people in my head are out there. I want to do, before we stop, I want to do a rap for you to just a little piece of it, to promote the economic fast. And the economic fast is simply the first 3 days of November, don't spend a dollar, don't spend a dime. And I'll tell you what, the pandemic has prepared us for that. I have saved more money since March 12th than I did all of last year, and this year is not over yet. It's only 5 months into it, and I have saved more money because I don't get a lift to work every day. I work from home. I'm not going to the restaurants buying food. I'm not going out and feel that I have to patronize an establishment just because I'm there. So we can do this. We cannot spend for 3 days. And it might get good to us. You know, when we see that it's just some stuff we don't need. We might want it, but we don't need it. So this is called We Have the Power. I come to talk to you today about how we spend our money. We spend it up so fast that it ain't even funny. We run and cash our check and then we take it to the man. He stands there smiling, holding out his hand, $600 billion in just 1 year, browsing through the mall for the latest gear. Stop the foolish spending and reserve the green. Don't buy nothing next week, then they'll see what we mean. When you don't control the dollars that you circulate each day, you can say what you will. There's no power in what you say.
Thanks again, Renee.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you, Stan. I appreciate you, Cynthia, even though I'm supposed to act like you're not here. I love you two guys.
I love you.
Hi, I'm Stan Johnson, creator of the Artist of Color series, showcasing, informing, and exposing the creative talents of artists that live around us and with us, all expressing themselves through the visual and performing arts. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe to see more videos.